What's up, hockey fans? Welcome back to Triple D Hockey. In today's video, we're diving into a world full of regret and head-scratching decisions. Get ready to cringe as we recount the worst trades in NHL history. From missed opportunities to jaw-dropping blunders, these trades will make you question, what were they thinking? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump right into it. Back in 1976, the NHL saw a game-changing trade. Rick Middleton, a rising star, left the Rangers for the Bruins in exchange for veteran Ken Hodge. Middleton's electric skills had netted him 46 goals in 2 seasons, but his off-ice antics often raised concerns. Boston's loudmouth coach Don Cherry demanded discipline. Under Cherry's guidance, Middleton ditched the party scene, hitting the gym hard. The transformation was remarkable. He scored a hat trick in his first game with Boston and evolved into a scoring machine, tallying 402 goals and almost 900 points in his iconic Bruins jersey over the next 12 years. Meanwhile, Hodge's Rangers stint was underwhelming, with just 23 goals in 96 games before retiring. Cam Neely was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks and scored a pedestrian 51 goals in his first 3 seasons in the league, but his shocking -56 rating and 300-plus penalty minutes raised eyebrows. In 1986, the Canucks traded Neely in a first-round pick for Barry Peterson to the Bruins. Neely's Boston journey became legendary, as he racked up an impressive 344 goals and 246 assists in 10 seasons with the team. Neely's powerhouse style, a mix of raw strength and finesse, made him a fan favorite. His fists were as lethal as his goals, with 3 50-goal seasons and a 2005 Hall of Fame induction. Meanwhile, Peterson's star faded. He only hit the 20-goal mark one time with the Canucks and bounced around the league, playing for several teams throughout the rest of his career. Following playoff defeats in 1974 and 75, the Rangers were determined to revamp their lineup. This decision led to a moment that shook the hockey world. Among other moves, they sent center Jean Rattel and defenseman Brad Park and Joe Zanussi to the Bruins. In return, they acquired the high-scoring Phil Esposito and defenseman Carol Vadnais. However, this move turned into a catastrophe. Rattel and Park thrived with the Bruins, enjoying remarkable careers. While Esposito maintained his point-scoring prowess, he couldn't replicate his Boston success in New York. During his time in Boston, he averaged about 56 goals per season, and after the deal to New York, his average dropped to about 30. The trade remains a lesson in unpredictability of player transitions and the impact of team dynamics. In 1995, Patrick Waugh was going through a slump. Montreal thought they were getting a great deal when they agreed to send Waugh to the Avalanche along with Captain Mike Keane in exchange for Jocelyn Thibault, Martin Rucinski, and Andrei Kovalenko. This deal turned out to be a disaster for Montreal. Waugh found his groove in Colorado, proving he was still an elite goalie that he thought he was. With Waugh in net, the Avalanche transformed into perennial Stanley Cup contenders, lifting the cup in both 1996 and 2001. Meanwhile, the Canadiens faced a starkly different fate. This trade triggered a downward spiral, pushing them into an era of non-competitiveness that lasted for multiple seasons. In 1996, Teemu Selanne was traded with Mark Chouinard to the Mighty Ducks for Chad Kilger, Oleg Tverdovsky, and a third-round draft pick. At this point, the league knew Selanne was a scoring machine, having just scored almost 150 goals over his first 4 NHL seasons. This trade wasn't just a shuffle of players, it was a seismic shift. Selanne's journey and the Ducks' fate intertwined. The trade amounted to nothing short of a heist. The next few seasons saw Selanne hit the 100-point mark 2 times and win the Rocket Richard Trophy in 1999. During this time, he emerged as the face of the franchise, etching his legacy for years to come. In fact, he remains one of the Ducks' most iconic figures and easily one of the top players to ever play for the organization. In 2001, the New York Islanders set in motion a trade that would send shockwaves through the league. Zdeno Chara, an up-and-coming player who hadn't quite hit his stride with the Islanders, was dealt along with Bill Muckalt and a first-round pick to the Ottawa Senators. And what did they get in return? None other than the highly skilled, highly sought-after Alexei Yashin. Yashin dazzled with his time with the Senators, averaging nearly a point per game during his 7-year stint. As we know, Chara blossomed into one of the most formidable defenders in the NHL, dominating with his massive presence and skill. He lit it up on the ice, scoring 146 points in almost 300 games for the Senators. But who did the Senators pick with the first rounder they acquired? None other than star and former captain Jason Spezza. Yashin had a bit of a bumpy road on Long Island. Over 5 seasons, his play dwindled, scoring 290 points in 346 games. The Islanders then bought out Yashin in 2007, paying him over $2.2 million a year all the way into the 2015 season. In 1988, the Calgary Flames committed an NHL trade blunder for the ages. Imagine this, a young sensation, Brett Hull, was lighting up the league with a stunning rookie season, notching 50 points in just 52 games. But hold on, because the Flames made a move that defied all logic. Hull, alongside Steve Bozek, was shipped off in exchange for Rob Ramage and Rick Wamsley. The Flames received Ramage, a skilled defenseman with offensive flair who only played one season for Calgary before moving on to Toronto. As for Wamsley, he didn't exactly steal the spotlight either, serving as a backup goalie for parts of 4 seasons before the Maple Leafs snatched him up. As you know, the Blues hit the jackpot with Brett Hull. They secured one of the NHL's most electrifying goal scorers in history. Hull burst onto the scene with a bang, notching 41 goals in his first season with the Blues, and then following up with a jaw-dropping 228 goals in his next 3. Talk about total domination. Hull's legacy in St. Louis spanned an impressive 11 years, where he scored 527 goals and 936 career points, before signing a free agent deal with Dallas. The beginning of Marcel Dion's career took place in Detroit, lighting the lamp on a regular basis for the Red Wings to the tune of 366 points in 309 games. But in 1975, that all changed, as the Red Wings pulled off a trade that left jaws dropping. Dionne, already a star, was sent packing to the Kings, alongside defenseman Bart Crashley. And what did the Kings give up? Dan Maloney, Terry Harper, and a second-round draft choice. Now here's where the magic happens, though. Dionne's career blossomed even further in Los Angeles, where he dominated the opposition for 12 more seasons while being part of the famed Triple Crown line with Charlie Simmer and Dave Taylor. He racked up an astonishing 1,300 points across 921 games, etching his name into the Kings' history books. Not to mention, he finished with 6 50-goal seasons, leaving no doubt about his scoring prowess. Dionne finished his career holding several franchise records that stand tall to this day. The cherry on top? His induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1992. In recent history, we know the Oilers have had some questionable draft moments, but before any of that, in 1991 they traded their heart and soul, Mark Messier, to the New York Rangers. Along for the ride were future considerations, which turned into Jeff Beukeboom and David Shaw. And what did they get in return? Louis DeBrusk, Stephen Rice, and Kings great Bernie Nichols. At just 29 years old, Messier had already hoisted the Stanley Cup 5 times with the Oilers. But did the return match what was leaving town? Not quite. DeBrusk had his moments, but inconsistency plagued his time on the ice. Rice struggled to secure his NHL footing, bouncing between the Oilers and the minors. And as for Nichols, he made a name for himself but was traded to the New Jersey Devils after a mere 2 seasons. Meanwhile, Messier's move to the Big Apple ignited fireworks. He set the ice ablaze, racking up 107 points in his first season as a Ranger. Oh, in that 6th Stanley Cup, he delivered it in 1994, famously guaranteeing a win against the Devils to tie the series before clinching a spot in the finals. Through 422 games in his first stint with the team, he notched an astounding 515 points, clinching the Hart Memorial Trophy and the Ted Lindsay Award along the way to his induction into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 2007. For some reason, it doesn't surprise me the Oilers have the 2 top spots for the worst trades in NHL history. This time, the trade took place in 1988, as the Oilers sent shockwaves across the league as they said goodbye to the Great One, shipping him off to the Kings in a blockbuster 8-player deal. Picture this: Wayne Gretzky, just 26 years old, with a mountain of hockey still ahead of him. But a cloud of rumored financial turmoil between then-owner Peter Pocklington and the Oilers cast a shadow, forcing the unthinkable, trading one of the greatest players in NHL history in his prime. And for the return, the Oilers got 2 players, a trio of first-round draft picks, and $15 million in cash. Among them, Jimmy Carson blazed a trail with a 100-point season, but his Oilers journey was short-lived after just 2 seasons. Martin Jelinas spent the modest 4 years with the team, and the draft picks, 2 of them played a combined 8 games in the NHL, and the other one was Martin Rucinski, who turned into a good player but only played 2 games with the team. When Gretzky moved to LA, he continued his NHL domination, posting 918 points in 539 games with the team, although he wasn't able to hoist the cup again with the Kings. When he retired in 1999, the Hall of Fame waived the waiting period and he was immediately inducted, finishing his career holding over 60 NHL records and amassing over 2,800 points and 4 Stanley Cup championships. And there you have it, hockey fans, the worst trades in NHL history. If your team received one of the stars in any of these deals, I'm sure you won't think they were as bad as they really were. But for everyone else, let us know in the comments if you agree and if there's any other really bad trades that we didn't include. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and remember, it's a great day for hockey.